Let's look at raising a base to a power and recognizing exactly what gets raised to the power. Okay, in this first one, we have the opposite of 4 to the 5th, or a negative 4 to the 5th, raised to the 5th. Working only on what's in the parentheses, the negative is not part of the base. Only the 4 is. So we sometimes will write that as negative 1 times 4 to the 5th to indicate that the 1 is not raised to the 5th power, only the 4 is. So then that's going to equal 1 negative, and then a 4 as a factor 5 times. And then all of that is raised to the 5th power. Now, if it is written in the second way, now my base is negative 4. So it is negative 4 as a factor 5 times. Now, because 5 is an odd number, the answer is going to be the same either way I write it, because an odd number of negatives will be negative, and then that's raised to the 5th power, which remains negative. Okay? Now, let's take it to where it's an even power and it'll make a difference. In this one, I have negative 1, because it's not raised to the power, times 4 to the 4th to the 5th, which is equal to, so I'll have negative, and 4 to the 4th power is positive 256. And then I'll raise that to the 5th power. And because I'm raising to the 5th power, that's still going to be a negative. All right, let's take it where negative 4 is raised to the 4th. Now I have negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. And then after I get that answer, I raise all of that to the 5th power. And a negative times a negative is a positive, times a negative is a negative, times a negative is a positive. An even number of negatives gives me a positive. So this one's going to be a positive 256 to the 5th power, which will be a positive answer. So that's why the textbook is pulling the negative 1 out of the expression when it's not part of the base that's getting raised to the power. Now, of course, you know we don't have to write all these out. We can just say if you're raising a power to a power, you multiply exponents. So on the one negative 4 to the 5th raised to the 5th, then I know the negative is not raised to the power. So I'll just put my negative. And then 4 to the 5 times 5 is 25. If it were negative 4, the second version, to the 5th, then in this case, I have to say a negative raised to the 5th power will still be negative. Raised to the 5th power will still be negative, but I still get negative 4 to the 25th power. I hope that helps.